Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Aishwarya Sophia. I'm an energy healer and an intuitive channel. I'm here to make your spiritual journey a little bit easier. Let's talk about crystals. So today's topic is one of my favorites. I find crystals to be such fun, cute little beings. And crystals are more than just rocks. They have their own personality and they carry the energy of creation itself. I feel like crystals are Mother Gaia's works of art, and they're so deeply connected with creation and creative energy. And what they really do is they help us access these energies within ourselves. Just like different archangels carry different frequencies of the same source, crystals carry different frequencies of Mother Earth and of creation. And they help us access our own gifts and abilities by clearing away any of the energies that don't serve us. And they help us access these deeper parts of ourselves. Some crystals are excellent at grounding and protection. Some crystals foster love and compassion, and some crystals amplify our intention. In today's video, I'm going to talk about just a few ways that you can use crystals on your healing journeys and how you can make them your allies on your spiritual path. I'm also going to talk about how to cleanse, recharge, and program your crystals. And at the end, I want to add a little note about Moldavite, which has been all the buzz on social media in the past few years. But I would like to add a caution about that at the end. How can crystals help you in your spiritual journey? First of all, I'd like to start by saying that crystals are not a fix-all, right? They're not going to magically just heal all of you and just take away all of your problems. They work with us. There are so many different ways that we can use crystals, but I'm going to touch on the most helpful ways that we can use them in our spiritual journey. If I miss something or if there's a different way that you use your crystals, please leave it in the comments below so we can all learn from that. First way that crystals can help us is with our healing. So crystals really help us uncover that which needs healing. They help us release them, and they also help us reprogram ourselves to function from this new healed place. Be it inner child work or shadow work, crystals can really help us with any aspect of our healing. So I'll use inner child healing as an example. If you're working on healing your inner child and you uncover that you have a fear of abandonment, you can use green aventurine to help heal deep-seated wounds and break cycles and patterns. You can combine this with rose quartz that helps heart healing and soothing. So the first step to use crystals in your healing journey is to identify what needs healing, and then you can go on your search engine and just type out crystals that help heal X wound, right? Crystals that help heal mother wounds, crystals that help heal the fear of abandonment. And there's a lot of great information on the internet that will help you identify the best crystal that you can use to heal what you're looking to heal. The next way is to amplify our intentions. So as most of us know, our external reality is a reflection of our internal state. So if we want to change our external reality, we must change our internal landscape first. And as we know, our words, our intentions, they carry weight. Anything that we intend or that we speak out into the world invariably manifests into physical reality. This is when crystals step in. So imagine this. If you're someone that uses affirmations every morning and you say, I am strong and confident, right? Imagine that energy leaving you and it dissipates into the universe. What crystals do is, if you have a crystal, and I'm reaching for my palm stone to show you how I do this. If you have a crystal and you say, I am strong and confident, and you infuse the crystal with that energy and you carry it with you the whole day, what happens is the crystal holds that energy and it emits it throughout the day. So not only do you feel that energy and you are able to embody that strength and confidence with ease, others also sense that in you. So I like to carry a little palm stone or a little crystal. I like to program it and put it in my pocket to amplify my energies. The next way is to help us remember our past lives. Now, anyone that has worked with their past lives or accessed their past lives know the deeply healing effects that knowing your past lives has on our current reality. Having said that, past lives, I believe, are really the key to heal our most deep-seated trauma and to uncover our greatest gifts. As I've said many times before, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are the same soul that has incarnated across multiple lifetimes. This means that we carry traumatic charges from other lifetimes and also gifts from other lifetimes to this current lifetime. So what accessing these past lives can do is it can help us heal those repeating cycles and patterns with ease, and also access our greatest gifts that we have worked very hard over the lifetimes to master. So crystals like Lemurian quartz or apophyllite are excellent in accessing to help you access your past lives. So I have an apophyllite right here. So I'm going to quickly show you this beauty. So all you would do is connect with your crystal, set the intention to have remembrance of your most relevant past lives, and set the intention if you want to heal something specific. For example, if you want to heal a mother wound, right? Set the intention that you want to see the lifetime where this mother wound originated and you would like to heal it. Then when you connect with your crystal, it helps you access that past life and it helps you really witness the pattern that needs healing, thereby causing the healing. The next way to use crystals is for grounding and protection. So any dark or smoky crystals like black tourmaline, smoky quartz, or obsidian are very good at grounding and protection. So many of us that are very spiritual have found that when you access some higher dimensional levels of consciousness, sometimes it's hard for us to ground back into this 3D reality. And if you're constantly accessing those higher states of consciousness, it can be hard or even quite boring to be anchored into the 3D. So that's when you would work with something like obsidian or smoky quartz to help you really ground into this reality and be more appreciative of everything that we do have in the 3D. Another way is protection. So the same dark or smoky crystals really help with protection. You can either wear them on you or place them at the entryway of your home, for example, and really program them to cast a protective net around your house and to ward away any lower vibrational energies. And boy, do they work. The last way that I will talk about in today's video to really make crystals your allies and help you in your spiritual journey is by using them to connect with angels. Now, angelic energy is really here to be the bridge between the divine and humanity. So whenever we need any kind of help, or even if all we need is some comfort, archangels are just beautiful energies to call on. So like I said, crystals amplify our energy and intention. So if you hold on to a specific crystal and you use that to invoke an archangel, it becomes easier for you to access that angelic frequency and also to raise your vibration enough to receive that communication back from them. So I want to quickly touch on the different shapes of crystals, and I'd like to point out that the shape of a crystal does not change the properties or the vibration of a crystal. What it does change is how that energy is emitted out from the crystal. So for example, if you have a sphere, then the energy that is emitted from that crystal is more of a uniform field. If you have a raw crystal like this one, it's more irregular. If you have a tower or a point, then that's more concentrated energy. So like I said, it doesn't matter what shape you have unless you're using them for something specific like a crystal grid. If you're just working with crystals for yourself, I have found that any shape is just as effective. Let's talk about how to cleanse your crystals. So since crystals really hold our energy and amplify them, that energy can become stagnant after a point, right? Just like if you don't vacuum your home, it accumulates dust. It's the same way with crystals. Since they continuously filter through energy, sometimes stagnant energy can become stuck inside crystals. But the easiest way to get rid of this stagnant energy and to restore the crystals to their highest potential is by cleansing them. Now, there are many easy ways to cleanse them. This does not have to be a complicated ritual whatsoever, and it really doesn't take a lot of time. So we have no excuses to not clean our crystals regularly. So the number one way to clean crystals is by placing them in water. Now, please note that not all crystals are water safe. You can just do a quick search, enter the name of the crystal, and is it water safe? And you'll find the answer on the internet. There are just too many crystals for me to make a list of the ones that are water safe and the ones that are not. But general rule of thumb is crystals like amethyst, rose quartz, clear quartz, carnelian are all water safe. So the crystals that are high up on the Mohs scale of hardness are okay in water, and some of the crystals that are softer are not okay in water. Again, please do a quick search to find out if the crystal is water safe before you use water to cleanse it. But the easiest way to use water to cleanse your crystals is by placing them under cold running water. Or if you've done some kind of energy work with them and you want a deeper cleanse, you can place them in lightly salted water. If you have the fortune of being close to natural bodies of water, nothing like it. You can take your crystals and place them in a creek. You can cleanse them with flowing river water or place them in a lake, for example. And all you have to do when you cleanse crystals with water is place them in the water with the intention of cleansing them and restoring them to their natural state. Another very effective way to cleanse crystals is by smudging them. And this is one of my favorite ways because you can do this on any crystal. So smudging is the act of burning a sacred herb like sage or cedar and cleansing the crystal, cleansing yourself, cleansing your space with that sacred smoke. Now you can also use incense for this, but what I do is I use either sweetgrass, palo santo, or sage to just light it up and then hold the crystal over the smoke and just swirl it around to make sure to get every angle of it, and that deeply cleanses the crystal. Now you can do this for yourself too, and it's just very, very cleansing. The last way that I'll talk about today is through intention. So say for example, you don't have access to water or to sage or palo santo, what you can do is just place your crystal in your palms and really envision a beautiful white light coming through the crystals and completely cleansing them. Set the intention that this white light will completely cleanse and clear and restore your crystal to its natural state. And I would say that if you're a beginner, just hold that intention for a few minutes so you really get it in there. Oftentimes when they're in settings like our homes and they don't get to go out in nature, they lose their charge. So it's very important to charge crystals, but it's very easy to do this as well. So the first way is to charge them with sunlight. So all you need to do is just place them on your windowsill or place them somewhere outside where they can get some direct sunlight, and this will cleanse them. Please note that again, all crystals are not sun safe. So for example, certain types of amethyst will lose their beautiful purple color if you put them in the sun. So just do a quick search and just to inform yourself which crystals are sun safe, and you can just set the intention of recharging your crystals and placing them under the sun for just a couple hours. We don't want our crystals overheating, but just placing them in the sun will really recharge them. Another way is by placing them under the moonlight, and this has the same effect on crystals. All you have to do is just place them either outside or on your windowsill under the moonlight, and especially during full moons, this is very, very effective. The one caveat here is please try not to charge your crystals under eclipse energies, because eclipses are very, very chaotic energy, and we don't want to charge our crystals with that kind of energy. The next way is by placing crystals in crystal grids. Now, crystal grids are very easy to set up, and all you need to do is find 6 to 7 crystals that you want to place in a grid. Find a center stone that acts as a generator or an amplifier. I usually use clear quartz because that is the most powerful amplifier of energy. And I set the intention that the center stone, which is already cleansed and recharged, that it recharge all the other crystals in the grid. Now, when you do this, not only are you cleansing and recharging the crystals, when you set an intention, you're also amplifying it. So you can use these grids to charge your crystals and also to amplify your intentions. Let me know if crystal grids are something that you would like me to speak about more in depth, because I love crystal grids. I have so many of them set up in my home and my healing space. So I would be happy to do a deep dive video on that. The last way I'll talk about on how to recharge your crystals is to ground them. So just placing them in a safe place on the soil or grass, so straight on Mother Earth, and just allowing them to sit there for maybe a day. And if you don't have a day, even a few hours will work, but just really give your crystals time to ground and recharge, and placing them on Mother Earth or even around plants or trees. You can place them in your garden or by your flowers. That really helps crystals recharge and get back to their natural state. So how do you connect with your crystal and how do you program them? So like I said, crystals amplify our energy. So when we want to use a crystal for a specific intention, it's great to program them with that intention so they can carry that specific vibration. So to do this, you start by connecting with your crystals first. So very similar to how I told you about how to connect with your spirit guides in my last video, connecting with crystals is very similar. All we have to do is sit in a quiet space, get into a meditative state, open our hearts to the crystal and request it to connect with us. Once you make that request and you're holding the crystal, start to feel the frequency of that crystal, right? All you have to do is allow yourself to feel that frequency, and the crystal will do the rest of the work. So once you start feeling the energy of the crystal, so I usually rub it a little bit, I hold it in my palm, I thank it, and I just communicate with it, you know. So once you do that and you start feeling the energy of the crystal, open your heart more and more to it, right? Allow that energy to course through you, and you're now connected with your crystals. Now, if you're a beginner and you've never done this before, try doing this a few times until you establish a solid connection with your crystal. So once you've established this connection with your crystal, that's when you can program it. So please remember to cleanse your crystal and recharge it if it needs recharging before you do this. So once you've connected with your crystal, it's cleansed, recharged, all of that is done, hold it in your left palm, place your right palm over it, and really speak your intention to program the crystal, right? So you can just use adjectives and say abundance, prosperity, confidence, success, fulfillment. So be it. There, that's one way. It's programmed with those words now. Another way is you can use affirmations. I am God's perfect child. I am filled with divine, unconditional love and compassion. I am meant to walk my dharmic path with ease and grace. So be it. There, that's another way to program it. And you can use any words, you can sing to it, anything. But basically what you want to do is you want to speak that vibration over the crystal and it gets programmed with it. You can also program crystals with music. Sometimes I do it with some of the mantras that I say, where I place the crystal in front of the speaker where I'm playing the mantra, and it gets coded with that high frequency, right? So you can use any number of ways to program crystals, but sound is the most effective. Now that you know how to cleanse your crystals, how to recharge them, how to connect with them, and how to program them, it's a good time to ask yourself what crystals you feel called to work with. Now, if you are at the very beginning of your journey with crystals and you're just curious about them, please don't feel pressured to go out there and buy every crystal. You just need a couple crystals to start with. So my recommendation for someone who is a beginner at this, get yourself a good quality clear quartz. Clear quartz is a generator and an amplifier, so it really helps you work with yourself but also work with the other crystals that you may have. I would also recommend amethyst because this is such a versatile crystal. It helps you connect with your guides and angels. It helps you connect with your intuition. It also helps ground you. It helps you really stay calm and centered. So amethyst is a great one. Another one that I absolutely love is rose quartz. This carries that soft and sweet energy. So if you're trying to embody your feminine energy more, or say you need heart healing, you need to get over a breakup, whatever it is, rose quartz is an amazing and very, very versatile crystal. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced and you've tried some of these more basic crystals, I would definitely recommend lapis, amazonite, and carnelian, and even citrine, because these ones they're a little bit more layered than the first few ones that I mentioned. But any crystals that you feel called to, I would say look into the metaphysical properties of those crystals before you purchase them, because when you look at the properties, it'll become very clear to you why you were attracted to that specific crystal. Having said that, I also want to mention that you don't need these giant crystals. Like I've seen some beautiful giant geodes of amethyst. You don't need that. All you need is a little amethyst to get started. They're very inexpensive. They don't require you to invest a lot, and they are just as effective as the larger crystals. Now, I do want to talk about Moldavite here. So Moldavites have been all the rage on social media in the past few years, and I myself have been working with Moldavite since 2019. So Moldavites are tektites, right? So they can only be found in one place in the Czech Republic, and there was a meteor that crashed, and then Moldavite is the pieces of that meteor. So they carry this very, very beautiful, otherworldly, powerful energy. So when a Moldavite comes into your life, expect your life to do a complete 180, right? Anything that doesn't align will fall away, and it's quite abrasive. It's not very pleasant. Like some of the other crystals that do cause change, like apophyllite is one of them, it's more gentle. But Moldavites, man, oh man, they're very powerful. So for example, when I bought my first Moldavite, I still have her. I call her Millie the Moldavite. She's just this big, right? But as soon as she came in, I got a promotion. I realized that I was supposed to leave a long-term relationship I was in, and I decided to sell the house that I was living in, all within 6 weeks of buying the Moldavite. So it is not for the faint of heart. So please exercise caution before you buy a Moldavite. Yes, all the outcomes from buying a Moldavite are positive, but please make sure that you have the strength and resolve to go through all of those changes. Because before I had the Moldavite, I thought everything was fine in my life, everything was just peachy. I didn't know that all of these things needed change. But what the Moldavite does is when it comes into your life, it illuminates it in such a way that you can't ignore it, and it starts making those shifts in your life, whether you're ready or not. So I think that's the reason it gets a little bit of a bad rep, but I love them. I have many pieces of Moldavite, many pieces of Moldavite jewelry. But like I said, just make sure that you have the strength and resolve it takes to really go through those cycles of change that Moldavite brings in. So that brings me to some of my crystal recommendations for my more advanced people with experience with crystals. So the first one is Moldavite. If you don't have one, do yourself a favor and get one. It is a joy to work with Moldavites. Once you get over that initial bumpy road of the change, Moldavites bring in the most beautiful, miraculous energy into your life. And even the things that you thought were impossible to change, it's no order of difficulty for Moldavites. They just change things like that. So I would recommend Moldavites. If you believe that you've had lives in ancient Egypt, I would recommend you check out the Libyan gold tektite or Libyan desert glass. Those are amazing as well. I would also urge you to check out the Andara crystal. That's spelled Andara. Now, Andara crystals are very beautiful, high vibrational, multi-dimensional beings of light, and you can only find them in the Sierra Nevada range in Northern California, and there's a lot of fake Andaras out there. So please be mindful of where you buy Andaras from. I'll leave some links in the description box about where you can purchase genuine Andaras. Also, please reach out to me if you have questions on where you can purchase them. So the last thing that I'll touch on about crystals before I sign off is crystal skulls. So crystal skulls are crystals that are carved out in the shape of a skull. What this is the hardware for conscious beings to anchor into. So for example, this one is a conscious being from the Pleiades, and she helps me with strength and healing. So whenever I'm learning a new healing modality, for example, I'll have her with me, and she helps me not only learn them but also be a more effective healer. So conscious skulls have been revered by many ancient civilizations since ancient times, and I feel like skulls just get a bad rep in pop culture as being a sign of evil or darkness or whatever, but I can assure you from my personal experience that that's not the case. When you buy a skull from an adept healer who has programmed them and enlivened them, they can be your greatest allies in your healing journey. Let me know if you're curious at all about crystal skulls, because I'm a crystal skull priestess, so I can either make a more in-depth video on them, or if you want to have a session with me where you want to learn if crystal skulls are a good match for you, you can sign up for a session on my website. If you want to have a fun reading, check out my Etsy shop. And I really hope that all of this information was useful to you. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Don't forget to check out the description box for useful links. And I will see you in my next one. Namaste.